Okay, Chris, we're going to evaluate your swing after our session yesterday. On the left was the video of your swing before we began working on your swing. On the left, you're hitting a 7-iron. On the right, you're hitting an 8-iron. First, look at your setup. A lot more centered on the right, hanging back. You have a little bit more weight on your right foot than you do your left foot on the left. I'm going to take you to the 3 position on the left and the 3 position on the right. Big difference. It's obvious to see that you stayed on your left with your new shoulder down, hands in swing. You're in a much more powerful position. You're going to be able to use your legs more with the swing on the right. So that looks really good. Let's go to the 4 position. Here at the top of the swing, your shaft on the left is just a little bit below parallel. Here you're above parallel, much better position. You can see how your left arm is much higher here from shoulder to the left hand. Shoulder to left hand. It almost appears that you're able to keep a more extended left arm on the right. I think part of what happens as you take it further back on the left, your left elbow may break a little bit. Hard to tell exactly. But this swing on the right is a much closer representation of a pro swing. Let's take it on down to 5. These boxes are drawn from the center of your ankles to the top of your head. You're much more to the left toward the target. You can see how your left quadriceps, your left thigh, is going past that left foot, more of your back. Everything there looks very good. Let's take it down to 6. On the right, I'm doing it in high definition. Don't have as many frames to work with on this one. Go to impact. I really like how this leg from ankle to knee is much more vertical, and you're kind of hanging back on this one. So that's really good. So you're posting up on your left side through impact to a much better degree with your new swing. I think it's important to watch watch the silver tape on your belt on the right side of your body, right above the pocket. In that, right there, we can see it just to the left of your right arm. Now watch that as you continue to swing the club through. You can see how your lower body has almost finished whatever it's going to do. It's just finished, and the rest of your swing is just throwing the hands and arms through. There really isn't any effective movement of the lower body. Now watch it on your swing on the right. We don't see the belt silver, but watch the right knee. But there's a continual movement, a continual turning going on there. It doesn't really quit. It initiates the arms through, and it just keeps going all the way to finish. And you post up very straight here. So much better. If we drew an arrow from this silver patch down to the ground, 9 degrees, It's right on top of your left heel on the right. And you're still hanging back a little bit there. So that's excellent. It's also important to point out, if we look at the shoulders, when your hands are at this position, on the right, you have finished your swing. Your hands are in front of your eyes, but your shoulder line at this point is really good. That right shoulder is much closer to the target. First, you stopped your body, your lower body, waist down body, and threw the hands and arms through with a little bit of shoulder turn, but then your shoulders kind of stop next, and the only thing that's still moving is your hands and arms a little bit. As you just kind of fold your arms and make a nice pose. But on the right, the engine, your core is hitting that golf ball. It's so evident. Your core is in a more powerful finishing position, even if you don't have the hands behind the neck. There was more participation with your chest and your hips and everything. Looks very good.
Oh man, I love that. May be your best execution of form.
Here's you and Grant in the 3 position. Both of y'all look very similar. You got that blue line going right through your knee, your left knee, right up your back. Very good. Good extension in the left arm. Shafts are about the same. Right elbow's about the same. I've drawn a red line through the sternum, through the belt buckle, and both of you are extending. You have swung the bottom of your spine underneath the sternum. Take it up to the top of the backswing. Okay, let me get it before you start your squat. Both in a very similar position here. I like the shafts are about the same. You're loading the left side. All that looks really good. Grant does a little bit of a squat there. If you look at his flexes and falls to even more to the left. So do you. And you're driving that hip past. You can, right at this point, that blue line coming up from your ankles is going right through your center of your body. You've got your belt buckle all the way on top of your left foot, just like Grant has. Very good. Things look very good there. I can see your belt buckle all the way to here, just almost right where the shaft is. Take Grant just a little further so it matches your shaft. Y'all are very similar right there. Elbows close together, good extension. When Grant's left arm is parallel to the ground, his right knee is right on top of his left foot, just like yours is. His right pocket's right on top of his left foot, just like yours is. Very good. Okay, let's look at these 2 swings down the line. On the left, it is a 7-iron. On the right, it's an 8-iron. Okay, fairly similar right there. Don't see anything that's just jumping way out. Certainly when I go from 3 to 4, it looks like it's just mostly lifting. There's not a lot of movement in those silver patches there on your belt or knee. Just kind of lifting and setting that club face. That's that over the top shoulder line here and an arm line here. So you're basically finished. Shoulder line and arm line are basically on each other. Very good. From shoulder to elbow, it's going down. This is more level. So you've got your armpit closed a lot more on your swing on the right. On your downswing, I want you to look on the left. As you come out of 4 and start your transition is mostly upper body. The initial part of your transition is upper body. There's a little bit of that drop, a lean over just a little bit more, and then you start to engage the hips and knees into the downswing. On the swing on the right, I want you to pay particular attention to that hip right there and this silver button right here. If that immediately starts its turn, your transition on the swing on the right is not a compartmentalized section of your body that moves first and the others join in later. It is a connected start in your transition. The hip turn is part of, you still have a little bit of a drop, but connected to that drop is that core. Core is moving immediately. Your core moves on your swing on the left as well, but it's like it hesitates. It gives the upper body, gives the arms a head start because it's so far back. Here your core is the dominant engine of your power, of your swing, of your path. So that looks really good. Gonna take on the swing on the left now. Let's get to 5. Clear. If we look at the shaft line, it's going almost the upper part of your bicep toward the shoulder. This one's between the elbow and the lower part of your bicep, which is the more correct stack and tilt position for the shaft at 5. Is that shaft crosses between your elbow and the base of your bicep. All right, let's take it through. Let me clear that. Here we are at 6, elbows in a good position. From the face-on view, we already kind of know that most of the activity is just in throwing that club through. We don't see a lot of movement here. It's almost like the lower body, any movement that we see in the lower body is simply a response to how the hands and arms went through. And here we definitely see the lower body be much more of a participant in this swing. It doesn't stall out and let the hands flip past. It's hard to tell from the camera angle, but certainly when we look at this back of this right hand, you have maintained that angle. I can tell that the right wrist is bowed under on the left, and it's still angled back here. So you haven't thrown that wedge, as they call it. You have maintained that little bit of an angle at the back of your right wrist through this shot. Now, I guess you may have noticed that the swing I'm using on the right is one of your practice swings, because that was one of your best shapes of swing. Now, your ball swing was also very good, but I wanted to at least get this comparison down with your swing on the left in terms of the form. And as you come through, you have that cut-off finish. I like that a lot. Here you're just kind of lifting your upper arms, but it's mostly an arm and hand swing. It's really not. Your core is only there to support the hand and arm swing. It's not doing the swinging. It's just a support participant. Swing on the right, you're hitting the ball with your core, which is what we want. That allows you to have quieter hands, more stable control. Now we'll look at your ball swing. Still a very good position. Arm and shoulders. The arm may be just a fraction higher than the shoulders in your practice swing, but still so much better than what you had before. It looks like there is a 9-degree difference between those two. So you definitely have a lower left arm on the right than you do the left. You still have a good continuation. I like the fact that you still have that right hand isn't throwing as much. Again, these are just little drill swings. This isn't going to be your final swing, but You could actually play golf with this swing. But this is a work in progress. Okay, here's you and Grant down the line. Very similar. Left arm on the chest line, or shoulder line. Right elbows down, armpits closed. Good flex in the knees. Extension right leg. Let's look at face on with driver, comparing you to Tiger. I think this is back at the 2012 U.S. Open on the left, so it's Tiger's new swing basically. Y'all have very similar setup. It appears that Tiger's stance is slightly more narrow than yours, and a little bit more square than yours. You have that, looks like you have that right foot back a little bit. Not suggesting that anything changed. I'm just pointing out the differences first. Let's take it back to the 3 position. It's possible you're a little deeper than Tiger, but that's not just a difference. I like the hip turn that you have at this point. You actually have a little bit better spine extension. It looks like to me from here to here than Tiger does. Tiger's a little more vertical. Take it to the top of the backswing. Y'all are very similar positions. You're shorter parallel, which I really like. Here's Tiger's shaft. Here's your shaft. Very good. Let's take the 5 position. Again, y'all are driving to the left. Getting your left hip and thigh to the red line. Everything looks loaded. Take you to impact. About the same. Very good. Good extended, hands in front of chest. Tiger maintains a nice extension. These arms. You're doing that much better now. Nothing's collapsing. Elbows are close together. I like the fact that you've kept your arms very straight for a longer period of time than you used to. You used to collapse your elbows a little earlier than this. So it looks really good.